Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yeonni. I am so nasally right now. The air quality is so bad right now, so it's really affecting my breathing. So please don't mind. I think we're all just trying to get through this year. The beginning of the week looked a little bit better, but today there's just smoke everywhere. Everything is, you can't even see out on the horizon. There is this yellow hue tint to the sky because of all the ash and smoke. And another thing to add to the list of 2020 that is just devastating and just too much, just too much. I think that is the perfect transition into this video today. You might be wondering, why am I in a different setup? And it's because we're gonna do something together today. I think this could be there's something new that I'm trying, but I think it could be really important and good for us to do. We're gonna try a mindfulness exercise together. This is something that I do here and there in my life to help me to deal with my own symptoms of anxiety, feel a little bit more at peace. It's a physical thing that I do to help me to reorganize what's up here, because a lot of the times there's a lot of things going on up here that it gets really stressful. Just a disclaimer here, a very big disclaimer. My YouTube channel is not for me to provide therapy to anyone. It's an educational channel. So this exercise that we're doing, I'm not doing it with you as someone who is providing therapy of any kind. If anything, I want to educate you on a coping skill, on a tool that I use to help me deal with my anxiety as an individual in society. So yeah, disclaimer there. I'm not here to provide therapy. This is not a therapy session. I'm just an individual who is extremely overwhelmed right now, and I want to share with you something that I learned that has helped me quite a lot when I feel this feeling of anxiety and just like 2020. Anyway, in order to do this exercise, we have some materials, and it's really nothing that unique or special. I have a scrap piece of paper, literally just a scrap piece of paper. I have some writing utensils, a Sharpie. I have a Sharpie just so I can show you more clearly what I'm writing. I have a pen, and I have my journal here. So basically what you need is something that you can write on that can be easily thrown away. It's a temporary thing, and something that you will hold on to. So it could be a journal, it could be a poster board that you happen to have in the house that you can just put on the wall. It could be a magnetic board that you can write up and put on your refrigerator. That is kind of the symbolicism of what we're going to do here, something that is temporary, something that you will hold on to a little longer and can remind yourself with. If you have some time in your day, I would highly suggest trying this out. You don't have to do it with me right now in this video. If you want to, that's cool too. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. All right, so if you have your piece of paper, basically this is the sheet of paper where we're gonna write down how 2020 was supposed to be, how it could have been, how it should have been. Whether you're a New Year's resolutions person or not, I feel like a lot of us, whether it's specific goals or general themes or ideologies, we meet a new year with some sort of expectations, right? Some sort of an expectation or a list of expectations, like this is the year where I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. This is the year where this is going to happen. And I definitely had my New Year's resolutions. Your girl, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I love to plan. I love to have solid resolutions and goals and work through them throughout the year. Of course, they're not always going to be all checked off at the end of the list. I mean, I'm human, and if anything, working towards goals is something that makes me feel very animated and motivated, and I like goals. So 2020, I did have goals going into it. So let me share with you what those were. So 2020, what could, what should. So number one, I was supposed to apply to grad school this year. So grad school, PhD. Being a psychologist has always been my dream. That's like my lifelong dream, to become a psychologist. Becoming a social worker was... All right, my camera died because of course it will, but we have a backup battery this time, so we're prepared. What was I saying? Grad school, yes. One thing that I was supposed to do this year was apply to grad school. Social work was something I wanted to do for 2-3 years, get amazing hands-on experience, and I wanted to use that experience into grad school to support my research in specifically what I want to do in grad school, my research goals and whatnot. But 2020 happened, and it's September, and I just personally accepted the fact that this year is not the year to apply. And there was a lot of pros and cons and back and forth with that. mentally, I just am not prepared to do that. I feel like I'm rushing it. I feel like my gut feeling tells me this is not the year to apply. So I can't take so much time with each point. But yeah, grad school was something I was supposed to do this year. Number 2, I was supposed to get my LCSW license this year. And if you're a social worker, you know what that means. Or even if you're not a social worker, you are one and you don't know what that means. LCSW is just a more advanced clinical license if you're a social worker. And you need a certain number of clinical contact, like hours that you've worked in the field with your clients, and you need certain number of hours of supervision every week. And I was getting pretty close to the threshold that I would be able to apply, take the test, and get this advanced license. However, it took a bit of time for me to get set up at my old job. However, around the time when I ended up quitting that job, I still needed more hours. But my plan was in the summer, I would definitely get a job, because this was before COVID became a serious thing. So at least with my previous track record, I felt very confident that I could get a job pretty quickly. And so my plan for 2020 was, by the time I'm applying to grad school, I'd have all the hours already. Not only supplement my grad school applications to have an LCSW, but also open up more job opportunities for me, and also just be good for me as a clinician to get this license. But everything is interrelated, everything is connected. So by being unemployed this long, I have not been able to get my LCSW, and just doing the calculations on the hours that I need and how long it generally takes to get a caseload up a certain number, and my clinical hours that I would need weekly, I do not believe that I can get the LCSW this year. I don't think so. Before I was like, I might as well test for it while I'm applying to grad schools, but I don't think it's happening, just realistically. Number 3, what was supposed to happen? In April, I was supposed to go back to New York to celebrate my birthday with my friends and just go back to a place that I always call home. I've been in San Francisco, I'm here in Seattle, but I've never felt as home as I felt in New York. And when we moved out of there, it felt very sudden. It was like, okay, this is happening, And it was very different from the future that I planned for myself. So April was sort of supposed to be like my closure trip, and you know me, I love to plan. I planned out every single day of that trip. I called my friends in advance, like, make sure this weekend you're free because we're gonna hang out, we're gonna eat yummy food, we're gonna go like dancing and just have so much fun. I planned everything out, and we were supposed to go the weekend before the first week of April, I believe. So this was before. Well, obviously COVID was still raging in Italy, but at least in America, we were thinking that it's not that big of a deal. It won't hit us that hard, which was also very confusing because a lot of Italians were posting, look out America, you better take this seriously. And I was like, maybe we should take this seriously. And look where we are in September. But anyway, I was supposed to go to New York and have that trip, and I ended up spending my birthday entirely alone, which really, really sucked. My husband was here in Seattle because he had to start work. I was alone in my Oakland apartment. I'd already quit my job, so literally alone in my apartment. And also social distancing was happening, so I didn't go anywhere to be responsible. So yeah, my birthday was spent alone. I did not go to New York. What else was I supposed to do, or what could have 2020 been for me? So clearly from what you can see, professionally, I had a lot of plans this year. Like, I was gung-ho, like 2020, let's do this, Personally, Korea, this one's a little question mark because I was supposed to visit my family in Korea this year in 2020 because I haven't seen them since last year. So as terrible as it is, I'd like to see my family at least once a year. Like, if they lived in the States, I'd see them multiple times a year. But since they're in Korea because of travel and expenses, and then because I was having such a hard time finding a job, my mom was like, I will pay for your ticket, just come to Korea, stay here, like do some self-care. But obviously this was before COVID. So now traveling feels very, very irresponsible because it's not a necessity. I'm not doing it because of a job or because of a need. It's more so I want to get out of America. I want to get out of this reality right here. But I feel like that's a selfish reason to have to go to Korea. Did you sneeze? You okay? My cats are sneezing. Bad air quality. But anyway, I don't know if I can go to Korea this year. And I just read, today is September 12th, 2020. I just read that the numbers in Korea are growing again. So it just doesn't feel responsible to do that right now. So Korea is on the list. And number 5. Do I have a number 5? Let's see. You can tell that I'm really doing this with you because I didn't write this down. My mind was just such a mess. So these are the things that have been really bothering me. Grad school, LCSW, going to New York in April, Korea, and I guess with LCSW, like I've already mentioned it, but job. I was supposed to get a job this year. I am interviewing, as I've mentioned here and there in my socials and in my last video, I believe. This was a year where I was supposed to really not make any compromises on what I want in a job. Like I wanted to go in, really like interview the interviewers and be like, I don't want to work in unsafe environments anymore. I want a job that I feel happy at. And I thought this year was the year where I could really kind of assert myself more in my job search. Like assertive job search. Could I write that down? Whatever, it's my list. So I think for now, that's what's on the forefront of my mind. Sorry, that's my air filtration thing going crazy because air quality is disgusting here. So we have this, right? So we're gonna look at this list. And it makes me sad because this is stuff that I thought was gonna happen this year. And what we're doing right now as we're looking through this list is we are kind of grieving in a way for a year that was supposed to go a certain way. So this step is important, right? First step, we've written things down. Second step, we are looking at it. Sometimes you write things down, you write it off, and you forget about it. But we are gonna sit here, we're gonna sit in the feeling of sadness. We're gonna sit in the feeling of, God, this like sucks. Like this sucks. Okay. Now that we've sat here, looked through our list, really thought about, and kind of sat in the sadness, or we've acknowledged this, how this makes us feel. This sucks, it's disappointing, makes me angry, kind of confuses me for what's to come, what's next year going to look like. Next thing we're going to do, now that we've sat down and kind of processed our feelings and thought about all the things that should have, could have, would have, is we're going to do this. We processed our feelings, right? We thought about it. This act of ripping apart this list is a physical way of showing this isn't reality, right? We've acknowledged it. This isn't going to happen this year. A lot of the times I feel like we end up sitting and ruminating and just torturing ourselves in a way, in a what should have and a could have and what could have, would have been situations that we already know are behind us, that we already know is no longer our reality. So we are sitting here physically ripping apart the should have, could have, would haves of 2020. Do this with me. A lot of the times I feel like these actions, you might be wondering, what's the point of that? It's so dramatic. Try it. There's a cathartic experience to acting out how we're feeling. That's why there's acting therapy, play therapy. That's why there's art therapy, because a lot of the times the action itself can be so cathartic. You can be sad when you rip it. You can be angry when you rip it. Just rip up all of this. This was the should have, could have, would haves of 2020. And you know, we're done with these. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our notebooks or whatever item of permanence that you can look back on. We're gonna turn to a new page right here. And we are going to write new goals for 2020, right? So we're gonna write, this is my 2020. And the purpose of this list is that This is a new goal. We are realigning ourselves with just the trajectory of how this year has gone, and we are realigning ourselves with new goals. It's never too late to make new goals. And I believe the benefit of doing this and this exercise is that it helps you to feel motivated. And that's something that I personally have really struggled with. I feel a lot of symptoms of depression during this time, and number one thing when you're feeling symptoms of depression is you don't feel motivated to do anything. So this feeling of new page, new list, new goals, it doesn't matter if it's January 2nd, if it's September 12th right now, it doesn't matter if it's December 25th and you're writing a new goal goal list to motivate yourself for the next year. This act of realigning yourself to motivate yourself can really, really help with symptoms of anxiety and depression and really help to make you feel motivated. So my new 2020, right? All of the stuff I talked about before, it ain't happening. So what is gonna happen this year? What do I feel like I can do this year? Number one, I can get a job. Not the stellar, assertive job searching, fucking amazing medical hospital full-time job that I was initially seeking out. And this is important because in a way it could feel like I'm settling, but also sometimes in times like this, you have to lower your expectations because your expectations that you originally had could be extremely unrealistic to the environment and the situation and the reality that you are in. So I need a job. I've been unemployed for close to 6 months. I can no longer be so hyper specific about the job that I want because I need a job. However, important, one thing I will not compromise on is my safety. So I need a safe job. Let's write that. A safe job. So I've already kind of started living out this new goal by applying to more general social work counseling jobs. I've applied to more nonprofits. I've applied to some research jobs, some like clinical lab aid jobs at universities, things that could be related to social work and healthcare, but it doesn't have to be just social work. So a safe job. Number two, obviously I won't be applying for my PhD this year. However, something I can do is I can still take my GRE test. So number two, I'm gonna take the GRE this year. Testing centers are still open. They're doing social distancing. I've done my research on that. And I'm home so much these days since I'm not working. So I have my 2020 GRE book. I've been looking through my vocab words. That is something I can do. So I'm gonna take the GRE this year. Number three, I want to do my best to stay in touch with my friends. So maybe let's make it a more concrete goal. FaceTime friends at least once a month. Stay in touch. This is hard because I think a lot of the times when we're going through things personally, it's hard for us to reach out to others. And with the distance, it has been really, really hard for me to stay in touch with my friends. We've been doing our best, FaceTiming whenever we can, sending each other gifts and care packages here and there, which is really cute. But I want to more actively reach out to my friends and stay in touch. And number four, I want to FaceTime my mom at least once a week. I text her here and there, but I think it would be important for me to establish a routine of seeing her face and getting that support and comfort from her at least once a week. So I want to FaceTime my mom, or dad, obviously, sorry dad, or dad once a week. That's very important too. Number five, what else can I do in 2020? I want to continue making YouTube videos. That is something I can do. I've been doing this 2 times a week thing. So far, I haven't had too many issues with it. If anything, it's helping me put myself together and it's helping me to, feel motivated. So it's something that's helping me, so why not stop? So I'm gonna continue making YouTube videos 2 times a week. And so yeah, like we assessed before, I think this is encompassing the job stuff, like career stuff, the emotional support stuff, since I won't be traveling anywhere. And number 5, making YouTube videos, taking care of my mental health. Yeah, I think this looks good. This is my 2020. Number 1, I want a job, a safe job. Number 2, I want to take the GRE. Prepare, study the best I can, and take it. Number 3, I want to FaceTime my friends once a month. Really work on staying in touch with them, since I can't visit them. Number 4, I want to FaceTime my mom or call my mom once a week, or my dad once a week. Having this routine will be really important for me to gain that emotional support that I need at this time. Number 5, I want to keep making YouTube videos twice a week, because so far, yeah, it's been great. And it helps me to feel motivated, and it is fun, something I enjoy doing. So why stop? I want to keep doing things I enjoy, which is this. Hello, it's Editing Yeonni here. I just wanted to drop in and say, also remember to be kind to yourselves with your goals, because we are in a global pandemic at this time. We are experiencing a lot of loss, physical lives lost, time lost, a lot of loss. So it's okay to set goals, reset goals, set them again. It's all about getting back up. So just remember to be kind to yourselves. And yeah, this is my new list for 2020. I'm not going to be ripping this up. This is in my notebook that I look at every day, so I can remind myself that this is my new reality. This is my new list of goals for this year, and I can do it. The most important thing when you're making goals for yourselves is make sure it's realistic. If you're gonna be like, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in a week, just health-wise, that's not healthy. But also it's unrealistic, so it's hard for us to feel motivated, like what's the first step? But if you make a goals list that is just pushing you enough to the point where you are growing, developing, maturing, but also you know you can do it, like you know you can do this. That's where I feel like the most growth comes from. That's where I feel like a goals list or resolutions list can be so useful and powerful. So I hope that you've tried this exercise with me, or if not, bookmark my video, save my video, whatever, for the future so you can try it yourself. It's a very simple exercise, but as you kind of saw, you get a chance to really sit down, write down, think, and kind of talk to yourself and process your emotions of this year. And at the end, I feel at least, very motivated, and I feel very good that I have this, and that this is all in the past now. I ripped it up, it's gone, it's no longer my reality. We move forward. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this exercise was helpful in any way. If you tried the exercise, please let me know down below how it worked out for you. What are your new goals for 2020? What do you want to do? What do you need to do? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. I hope this exercise is helpful. I love doing this here and there when I really need the motivation. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy emotionally, mentally, physically. I'm sending you all good vibes and strength during these really weird times. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. That's really important. Take care of yourself today. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.